Are you thinking about opening your own sports card shop wherever you may live and be a massive part of the sports card community in your area? Well, in this video, I'm going to be breaking down everything that I've personally gone through and all of my experiences leading up to this very moment as I'm recording this video, from start to finish, A to Z, everything you need to know about opening a card shop. So if you've been thinking about opening a card shop, stay tuned because this video is going to be very informational and you're definitely going to want to stay tuned for what I have to say. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am very excited to bring you this video because I think everything that I've written about, I truly believe will be beneficial to at least some person out there. I know when I was looking to open my own card shop, I was scouring YouTube, Google, forums, just to get as much information and knowledge as I possibly can to prepare me for when I open Murph's Card Town Sports Shop. So I do have everything written down here on the iPad, so I do apologize if you see me looking down from time to time, as I want to make sure everything I say in this video gets across to you, because I don't want to miss out on any key information, because everything I wrote here I do strongly believe is very important. So what is the purpose of this video, or what's the intended purpose of it? To show viewers the process I took from having my idea of opening a card shop all the way through the shop's first day being open. Moving forward with this video with the assumption that you have a basic understanding of sports, sports cards, and the hobby in general. So you have to have a baseline of sports card knowledge, which I'm going to assume that you do if you are subscribed to the channel. And if you're not, then please hit that giant red subscribe button, as I'll greatly appreciate the love and support. So with that out of the way, it's very hard to just sum it up in one word. You have to research the market of leases and contracts for retail spaces. You have to study through YouTube like the video you're watching now. You need to find an ideal location. What's an ideal location? Is the community a sports town? Are there any major sports teams or markets nearby? For instance, my shop is in Johnston, Rhode Island. So I'm 5 minutes from downtown Providence, where the Providence Bruins play. I'm 30 minutes from Gillette Stadium, where the Patriots play. And I'm roughly an hour away from where the Red Sox, Bruins, Boston Bruins, and the Boston Celtics play. So with the Providence Bruins right down the street, and then obviously Gillette not being all too far themselves, it's a really good blend of being in a sports card or a sports market, plus being in New England alone. I mean, that significantly helps because of the fan base here in New England. Are there any other card shops in your area? You don't want to be the plaza next door, or you don't want to be right down the street from a card shop. Ideally, you want to be around 15 minutes away, or at least in another town from a card shop. Obviously, giving your space, or giving yourself some space between you and the other card shop, will be extremely beneficial. You have to research the market and the area that you want to be in. Is the location visible to both vehicle and foot traffic? So vehicle is obviously cars, foot traffic's people walking. So for me, I'm at the center of Johnston, the town of Johnston. There is the town hall, there's the bus stop. Let's see, there's tons of food places next to one, and there's a barber shop. So there's a ton of just general traffic. Being at the center of town, it's a major intersection between Route 5 and Route 6A. So there's a ton of natural traffic there from people going to and from work, people just traveling through Johnston, getting from point A to point B, and then again, plus the bus stop right there. So obviously, outside traffic from maybe Providence or maybe from Warwick or wherever. I think that strongly helps because people walking by will be like, ooh, a card shop, let's swing in on our way to, I don't know, grocery shopping or wherever they're walking to. Would the shop be obstructed by other buildings, signs, trees, bushes, etc.? So for me, I have nothing in front of my shop. It has beautiful visibility. The only thing that's obstructing it is cars being parked, but there's nothing you can do about that. Every business is going to go through that, especially if you're on the first floor. The building that I'm in, there's 2 floors. Obviously, if you're on the top floor, there's going to be an obstruction for some people, such as stairs. And me being on the first floor, it really helps benefit people to just swing into the parking lot, walk in, walk out. But then again, there are some places that are obstructed by, like I said, other buildings, street signs, or marquee signs, trees, shrubs, bushes, whatever it may be. So just kind of take that into the back of your mind. How visible is this place going to be for other people trying to find my shop? I'm 8 months in and I still have people saying, oh, I didn't know you were here. How long have you been here? And I'll tell them how long I've been here. And like, oh, it's the first time seeing it. It's like, you say you live in the town, you say you drive by the shop every day. There's a nice big sign right there. So visibility is never going to be perfect. 80% of the battle for me is just getting people in the door. So marketing, advertising, word of mouth, social media is going to be all crucial. Especially, it's going to be even more crucial, especially if you have any form of obstruction. Let's see, what else? Doing a lot of research, I believe, is absolutely necessary. You don't want to just look up the sports card market. As in tuned you need to be, you need to look up commercial real estate market. You need to look up lease terminology. You need to look up, can my shop pay overhead? Can I afford to pay for a physical brick and mortar place? Too much is better than not enough. I'd rather see you, and I did this, 40, 50, 60 hours a week of research. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. Before I opened the shop, I was spending a ton of my time researching everything. Through your research, you may find out that opening a card shop is not for you, or maybe you actually didn't want to open one up to begin with, and that's okay. Listen, I started my undergraduate studies in sport management. I did that for 2 years, then I switched to psychology. I finished my undergrad with a bachelor's in psychology. Then I did my master's in clinical mental health counseling, and now look, I own my own card shop. So it's okay to come across an idea and it doesn't work out. And if you think opening a card shop is the best for you and it doesn't work out, that's okay. But assuming you're still watching this video, that means you really want to open a card shop and you're really determined to open and own your own card shop. So just make sure you do the necessary research, punch the numbers, do all of the preliminary work, that was a really tough word, leading up to when you sign the lease. Because once you sign the lease, you're locked in. And that can be scary. And I'm going to get to that in a little bit. But make sure you do your research. Really do it well. Or maybe if you're like me, through your research, you may find yourself wanting to open up a card shop even more. I'm not going to lie to you. The more and more I did the research, the more and more I wanted to open up my own card shop. So it's a double-bladed sword in an essence. Educate yourself to help you better understand commercial real estate lingo. Unless you already have experience in the commercial real estate field, there will be terms, words, and phrases you won't know. So I'm not going to lie to you. I have a general understanding of real estate in itself. I'm not a realtor, I'm not a landlord or anything like that. My dad was a real estate agent, but he did residential. And commercial is a completely different lingo. You have to worry about triple net, you need to worry about insurance policy of just the inside and not the outside. You need to worry about common area maintenance fees and such like that. So ask professionals for help in understanding those phrases, word, terms, or even the contract. And the contract I'm going to get to in a little bit because that is a whole nother animal. But yes, ask a professional if you need to. Don't endeavor down this road if you are unaware of what some of these terminologies and some of these words actually mean, because you may find yourself just messing yourself up accidentally or screwing yourself over and you didn't even notice that. Lease negotiations, contracts, and commercial real estate in general needs to be a part of your research. As much as you're trying to look up the card market, as much as you're trying to do your research on a physical location for your shop, you literally need to become a commercial real estate agent, through Google, through YouTube, through all of your research, because you need to be able to have a conversation and understand what is going on when the broker or even the landlord is talking about this or talking about that. You need to be able to dance and have a conversation with them. So that is going to do it for everything that I need to talk about in terms of research, the market of leases and contract of real retail spaces. Like I said, I'm going to dive a little bit more into the whole contract and the commercial lease side of things. I just wanted to go over the importance of research because I cannot stress it enough, and I'm going to be circling back to research time and time again. Like I said, too much research is not enough research. You have to do research. You need to become an expert. Yes, we all have a baseline of knowledge in whatever field it may be. For instance, you may know cars. You may know how to play poker. You may know sports memorabilia inside and out. But we all have that baseline. There's always somebody that knows more than us. So potentially educating ourselves to know more than what we already know is going to be a crucial and an absolute beneficial component of your journey of opening your own sports card shop. All right, so you found the space you want for your shop. Now what? Your research for understanding commercial real estate terms and lease negotiations will kick in, and they'll finally pay off. Being able to understand keywords and hold a conversation with the broker or the real estate agent is crucial. Yes, you will not know nearly as much as they do, but having a basis of knowledge really goes a long way. Like I mentioned before, being able to dance and have a conversation is going to be really beneficial here in this process. Those keywords, terms, and or phrases that I kind of alluded to before, triple net or NNN lease, build to suite, CAM or common area maintenance, and then usable square footage. These are just some terms and phrases that you need to know in order to fully understand what you're getting yourself into with your space. Triple net or NNN, that basically refers to the type of lease that you have here at the shop. Some are just one end, some are just two ends. Triple net, NNN, like I said, I want you to be able to do that research on your own, because the purpose of this video is not to educate you on the nuances of these terms, but just to kind of enlighten you on what terms to actually pay attention to. Build to suite. Are you going to be able to take down a wall if you have to? Can you put up a wall? Can you put up furniture, cabinets? What kind of furnishing? Things of that nature in terms of build to suite. How much freedom do you have in your space? CAM or common area maintenance, how is the outside being taken care of? Because as beautiful as you want the inside to look like and as clean as you want it to look like, what about the outside? I mean, the parking lot, is it clean? The sidewalks clean? Are there any plants, any shrubs? Are they being maintained, or are they just wildly growing? So common area maintenance is sometimes built into your rent, sometimes it's not. So you just kind of have to make sure you understand where the CAM lies into your space. And then usable square footage. Me personally, here at the shop, I have about 1,100 or 1,200, something like that. But I have a first floor and a second floor. I have a completely unfinished basement. That's the size of my first floor. So pretty much cut 1,200 in half. So I have 600 square feet of usable space for the shop. Obviously, some of it's dedicated to an office, some of it's dedicated to storage. You just got to understand these things when you go to visualize your shop. Can I actually use that little corner over there for my office, or can I put some shelves over there? Things of that nature. Ask the broker or the listing agent to see the space in person if possible. Receiving an in-person tour is invaluable, as you'll be able to walk through the available space and envision your shop in that space firsthand in person. I'm not gonna lie to you. Seeing the space in person, and this could be the same for when you're buying a house even. You wanna be able to see the space in person. Pictures, photos, videos, they serve a great purpose. It gives you an idea of what the space is about. But what do the walls really look like? How are the floors? Do they creak? Are they sturdy? What's the condition of the floors? How is the ceiling? Things like that are very crucial in terms of, seeing the space, and those things you're not going to pick up over a photo or over a video unless it's like really blatant, like there's a massive smoke stain on the wall. Like, you may miss that in a video, but you might see it in a picture, and you definitely will see it in person. Pictures and videos are a nice introductory tool when browsing online, but they don't compare to seeing the space in person. So just kind of reiterating what I said. Seeing the space in person is free and costs you absolutely nothing, not a dime. Go see 1,000,000 spaces, or realistically, go see like 5 spaces, okay? You'll be able to envision your shop in those 5 spaces, and then you'll be able to get a true feel of just envisioning the flow of like the counter. Okay, graded cards here, rookie cards there, TCG here. Okay, we can put some bargain bins there. Like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. I kind of like that we could put a table here. You'll get a rough idea like that with pictures and videos online, but seeing the space in person is absolutely free. So why not? Why not go see it in person? Listen, it can be a little nerve-wracking to email the listing agent or call them up, but trust me, they want to rent out the space. Okay, they're trying to make their portion of it. So they're not, I mean, you could run into an a-hole, but the listing agents that I talked to and conversed with, they were all very, very nice, and they all meant well. So take it for what's worth and just pick up the phone, type that email, go see the space in person, because I do have a little story to tell you. So a couple months prior to signing my lease here at the shop, here in Johnston, I was originally looking at a place in Smithfield, Rhode Island, which is like a town or two away. And it was a bigger space. The ceilings were a little shorter, but the space was bigger. And, you know, it was my first time seeing the space. I fell in love with it. I liked the size of it. It had a private office. It had some public bathrooms, which is something that I don't have here. And yeah, but it just really worked out. So then we started talking about, you know, the lease and the terminology and the price and, you know, the dollar signs. And I got that first contract, you know, emailed to me, and I was reading through it. And again, you know, reading through it, doing my research, applying my research as I'm reading through the contract. It all comes together. There was just a bunch of spots and points in that contract lease that I didn't agree with, or I really didn't understand. And ultimately, long story short, it made me feel uncomfortable. So being uncomfortable in something like this is 100% okay. Be as comfortable as you can, and do not afraid to be uncomfortable when it comes to something like this, because you're signing yourself up for a 2, 3, 4, 5, however long lease. And you're responsible for the length and the duration of that lease, regardless. So understanding your contract lease inside and out is quite important. So being uncomfortable with some aspects of it is okay. It really is. It can be overwhelming at times, but just take your time digesting the contract and truly, fully understand it. And that was something I couldn't do with that first contract. So I reached out to the listing agent. We went back and forth, and we eventually it just started stalling. So what I did is I re-indulged into my research by looking up spaces for lease. Then I found this place that I'm in now in Johnston, which is a place I originally came across like a month or so prior to. And I was like, you know what? It looks nice. It looks like it has an office. I see a sink. That's pretty cool. I know a ton of open space. Let me just take a look. What's the worst? Okay, so I took a look. You know, I saw the space in person, and I'm not even kidding you. 3 seconds when I walked in, I absolutely fell in love with it. 3 seconds into it. And I walked around, I went into that office back there, I took, you know, a look at the sink, the break room from when Allstate used to be the tenants here. The storage in the basement was very nice. I mean, like I said, it's fully, you know, length basement. And I was just very happy that I took that next step to see this space, because I originally didn't, and it worked out perfectly for me, as I've been here for 8 months now. It'll be 8 months in just a couple of days. So I completely owe myself a thankful gratitude for seeing this space in person and taking, you know, that leap, really, because, you know, seeing that other space for the first time was a little nerve-wracking, but then I started to know the guy, and it made it a little easier to see it twice and 3 times, which I did. But then, you know, talking to this real estate agent, or this broker, I should say, you know, it just really helped my level of comfort and being able to see the space, seeing the flow of the cases, and seeing, you know, the office, what it could look like, putting tables here, putting some pictures there, where the wax wall is going to go. If you like the preliminary, oh my God, this word again. The preliminary information you see online, plus love what you see in person from the space, then you can ask the broker or listing agent to write up a lease contract draft. So you're not going to get the official thing right then and there. You're going to get a draft. something that you can go over, write in some potential amendments between you and the landlord. Once they send that to you, then you can go over it yourself. But be aware though, there will be a lot of legal jargon in sections that may not appear to be important to you, but may end up being important in the long run. Read the lease in its full entirety. I cannot stress it enough. I did this with the original place I saw, the Smithfield place that I just talked about. And when I was done, there was a lot I didn't understand and found some things that I didn't agree with. To summarize, in the contract, it said that the landlord can expand on the property to make the strip mall another floor if they desire. Get this is the kicker. And the rent will go up 10%, I believe that was the number, 10%, as that extra additional 10% has to go towards the renovations and the expansion of the strip mall. Which is clearly not fair, nor is my responsibility to help fund the landlord's expansion through my rent increase. If I didn't read that lease and that contract and I signed that, and the landlord wanted to expand to a second floor, because there was already one floor, and then there was like a ground level, so I guess it was technically two. But if they wanted to expand another floor, I was going to be responsible for paying, like I said, I believe it was 10%. And that is not my responsibility. Anyone that's watching this that has already a general basis of commercial real estate knows that that is nowhere near my responsibility to help fund your expansion, to help you make more money. No. That's not how that works. But reading the full lease, like I said, is crucially important. You absolutely have to do it. No matter, let's see, I think my first one was 29 pages, and the second one, the one here, was like 22 pages. Read the whole thing. Please read the whole thing. Take an hour, take 2 hours, take however long you need. Read the whole thing. It is absolutely crucial. You need to read it. It will be time consuming, but it'll be well worth it to help you understand what you're legally binding yourself through when you sign that lease contract. You need to know what you're signing and legally agreeing to. Again, if I signed that contract lease and the landlord wanted to expand, there was nothing I could do about it for my rent to not increase by 10%. So read through it. Through your research, you're going to be reading the lease, on your computer, iPad, wherever you're reading it. And there's going to be some sections, terminology, paragraphs, you'll be like, oh yeah, I remember seeing that, or I know what that means. And then there's going to be sections that you're not going to know what it means. And those are the sections that are crucially important for you, that you need to understand. So please, if you take anything away from this video, please read your lease in its full entirety. So that's going to wrap it up for part 1 of this series. It's probably going to be a 2-part series of me expressing, going through, and just really giving you a full rundown of everything that I went through and all my experiences of opening my own card shop. And I really want to help educate you on how to do it if that is what you want to do with your life. I mean, it's super fun. It's so exciting to work with sports and sports cards every single day of my life. And it is very, very rewarding. But there's a lot of challenges that go on into it, whether it is before you open, during you open. If this is something you really enjoyed, please smash that thumbs up button, as I would greatly appreciate the love and support. Leave any and all thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, anything you have down in the comment section below, as I'd love to help educate further, answer any questions down in the comment section below, as any and all questions will be answered. Obviously within reason, if you ask me, Murph, how much per month do you pay in rent? I'm not going to be able to tell you that. Any actual feasible questions I'll be able to answer for you. And please smash that subscribe button if you haven't done so already, as I would greatly appreciate the love and support. Every like and every person that subscribes through this video will help make part 2 even better. To help your sports card journey and endeavor, I've already queued up a video right here for you. So click on that and I will see you in that video.